All right. Welcome back. So, in this episode, I'm just gonna show you how to install WordPress to the cPanel, and I'm gonna take you step by step. We've already installed an add-on domain to the cPanel, so that part is done. What I want to do next is just show you how to install the WordPress. So first and foremost, what we want to do is go through the entire process, and I'm going to go through it relatively quickly. We will see a little ounce of DNS here. So this is very important because when we do this, this is so that you're able to do it completely on your own. So we start from the My Products page, and we're going to go to Hosting in WordPress. We're going to go down to cPanel. We're going to click on the three dots again, and we're going to go Settings. From Settings, what we want to do is we want to go to cPanel Admin, and we're going to do Add-on Domain because it's generally what you're going to be doing. So we're going to go to Add-on Domain and go through the process I showed you earlier. So I'm just going to add just a no, I'm not going to do that. So we're just going to do an add-on domain here. Or actually, let's do a subdomain. So let's back up and do, no, because that doesn't. Yep, let's do subdomain. So we're going to go subdomains, and I'm going to go test again, and then I'm going to go here. So test dot. So this is going to open up a new folder on the directory for me. So let's go ahead and click that. All right, so the subdomain has been created. So let's head on over to, we're not using FTP, so I'm going to close that out. Let's head over to our public_HTML, which from here we can see we have the new folder test.creative, djcreative.llc. Now this is very, very important. What we're going to do now is once, like I explained before, whenever you enter the cPanel, the hosting tab stays open. So let's go back to the hosting tab. Let's go up to my hosting. And then from here, we're going to go to domains. Now, as you see, I have a good little list of domains here. But what we need to do is once you connect a domain or an add-on domain or a subdomain or anything to the hosting, you come to that domains tab, you find your domain, you go to the three dots, and you go manage DNS. Now, the hosting is set to automatically do this for you. But in the event that you do this and you don't see and the hosting doesn't do it, if you get into the habit of checking this every time, you won't make this mistake. So here we go. We are right here. So basically the A record is the primary record on the domain. This is what's pointing directly to the hosting, the 208.109.41245. And if we click here and we go into the cPanel, voila, there's that IP address that we're looking for. So these two match, then that means this is pointing at the server. So this is also a troubleshooting step that we will go through later on in the course. It's making sure that this record matches that record. Since I added a subdomain, it creates an A record with the name test and then the same exact IP address. Easy day, right? Very easy day. So that's basically all you have to do is match those two up. So I am going to delete this, and the reason I'm deleting it is because I don't like additional records that I'm not going to be using on there. So I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to remove the subdomain that I just created. That is very important with WordPress. If you don't, or with any of them, is if you're not actively using it, do not leave it on the cPanel. Go and remove them. We will be using the add-on domain djcreative.llc, and we're going to install WordPress to it. So let's go cPanel again. So if you can see, whenever I navigate the cPanel, I'm always navigating that top button there. So what we're going to do is we're going to install WordPress. After this particular video, after I have WordPress installed and then I'm going to delete WordPress, I'll walk you through the resource usage and stuff like that on the server, because that's very important. So we'll go through that in a second. But first, WordPress is contained in an area called the installatron. So I'm going to do install or install installatron. So as you can see, you have a whole lot of apps in here. So all of these apps are ready to be installed by you clicking on it. But I will tell you right now, like just right off, just being honest with you, GoDaddy doesn't support any of them except for WordPress. Drupal, Joomla, all of these you can install free of charge, but GoDaddy does not support them. And a quick note, you do not install Drupal, Joomla, or Magento on a shared hosting like the one that I'm using. Those need to be in Web Hosting Plus, otherwise they won't run properly. So that's just a quick note for you. These only go in there. So we're gonna go WordPress. This is a very easy day. We're gonna click install. It's gonna pop up. We don't want it on that domain because that domain already has a website. This is another important matter. We click our drop down. If the domain is not added as an add-on domain first, it will not show up here. So that's why it's important we add it as an add-on domain, and then we make sure the IP address matches the server, because both of those boxes have to be checked in order for the WordPress to install successfully. So like I said, we're using the djcreative.llc. Now I do want to jump into this real quick. There's a lot of different options you can use here. I always recommend we use the HTTP version of the website because you may not have an SSL installed on it as soon as you get started. Now, if you have an SSL ready to go, then yes, you have it installed to the server, and you have your redirects and stuff ready to go, then yes, installing HTTPS is an option. It's just I usually recommend that we install to HTTP so that we can manually do our HTTPS ourselves, which I'll show you how to do. Now, here, we do not use the www dot. The www dot is a subdomain, and GoDaddy's DNS is automatically configured to send traffic to the www. It's this guy. So CNAME www. If someone types in www.djcreative.llc, it'll automatically forward them to my website without them actually noticing that that's happening. So you don't need to install the www. It actually causes more drama than it does help. And then another quick note. This is very, very important. Your directory needs to stay empty unless you're manually trying to install it to a subdirectory. Otherwise, this needs to be empty. So, because the website will need to appear on djcreative.llc. So let's say if I put blog in here, the website will show up if someone types in http://djcreative.llc/blog. We do not want that. We don't want that. In some cases, you might want it. Say like you have a shop that's completely different from your website. You can do something like that. But in those cases, I would recommend you just do shop.djcreative.llc, djcreative.llc. Now, let's go ahead and scroll down a bit. So we have our WordPress versions and everything. This stuff is pretty straightforward. Now, I do not automatically do any updates at all, because an automatic update means that I need to be watching the site, because if it pushes an update and it breaks the website, I don't know unless I have that security plan that tells me my website broke. Administrator username and password. Now, WordPress is probably one of the most hacked platforms on the internet right now, and it's mostly because it's so, what's the word I'm looking for? It's so prevalent, right? It's so prevalent. So these need to be strong. So these are you gonna change to your own stuff. These need to be strong. And then you need to have your admin password here. So you just want to put in whatever your admin password is, which is a password, your admin email address, which is something you can access at any point. These absolutely need to be strong, because you will get hacked with WordPress if they're not strong enough. So website, you name your website tag long, all of this stuff is a little bit irrelevant. I would say make sure that you do the login attempt security on here. And that's just mostly so that if someone tries to brute force, they can't brute force into it. Two-factor authentication, I would probably say stay away from unless you are really security inclined, because if this breaks, you can't get into the WordPress because it's done through a plugin. All right, so from here, I'm just gonna click the install button. So we're actually moving pretty quick. This is going to take a while. I'm not gonna remember this password. And I'm gonna show you some just really quick advanced features, and then I'm gonna delete the WordPress and then remove the domain from the hosting. And like I said, I do that for security reasons, because the websites that's on the server, while they're not the most important websites on the server, it's very important that no matter what server it is, that you're consistently practicing good server etiquette, keeping her clean. So from here, what I'm gonna do is show you some advanced features. So what we have on this side, and this can be accessed from the Installatron, my application. I'll walk through it. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and do that now. So let's go Cpanel, install, pop us to the Installatron, boom, here we go. So we have 3 links here. We have the link to see the actual website, which is just that, nothing special. We have the link that throws us through to the admin, which, since this is a brand new WordPress, we have to go through the setup process. And then we just have the support link. You can just kind of ignore that link. It doesn't do very much for you. But over here is the important stuff. So the ability to update your WordPress, back up your WordPress, clone your WordPress, sync your WordPress, and uninstall your WordPress. Now, I'm not going to go into the cloning simply because this is supposed to be a very simple video, but cloning comes in handy if you want to do staging sites. So basically what you would do is you click clone, you put your little thing here, you do clone, and then you're just going to clone it to a different domain name. Yes, the clone installation is going to be used for testing purposes with the ability to sync changes with the live installation. So that'll allow you to work on one site and sync it just like you were doing on the managed WordPress system. That's what the clone tool is going to do. So let's do the edit tool, because the edit tool is where the advanced features I want to show you. So let's say, for instance, you got locked out of your WordPress. You can't remember your WordPress password. This is where we go. So we have, you change your username, you change your password, you change your email address, you save it all, voila. You can get into your WordPress now, because this controls your WordPress. So that's an easy day. A lot of people don't know that exists, and I get a lot of calls about that, which, don't get me wrong, it's not the end of the world. I'm not offended. That's why I have a job. So I get it. But what I want to show you one more thing before I delete this is we're going to go to the DNS. We're going to go back to the GoDaddy side. We're going to go here, my products. All right. We're going to go to hosting and WordPress. I'm going to pop into here. And voila, we have a WordPress installation under our websites list. So you see we have a lot of websites here, but now we have a WordPress installation. And on this WordPress installation, I have the option on the admin to jump right through to the admin. I also have the option to jump straight through the file manager. So let's go ahead and click this link. Easy day, just takes us to the admin for setup. Let's go ahead and click view website. Just takes us to the front of the website for a quick troubleshooting. And then let's go ahead and jump to the file manager. All right, so this is the same folder we were in before that was empty. It now has the WordPress files in it. So let's go public_HTML. Let me delete this folder. It shouldn't be here. And then we're gonna go DJ Creative, and we have a WordPress here. So easy day, easy day. We have just installed WordPress to it. So we can see the files there. So one quick thing while I'm in here that I'll show you, because I have some time, is we're gonna go to WP config, view, and on our config file, we have the most important information here. We have a database name and database user and our database password. So why do we care about this stuff here? This is very important when it comes to troubleshooting and to find out if you have what your database is. So right now I am inside the file manager with that open. So I'm going to go ahead and click the little file manager over there. and we're gonna go to the PHP my admin, right? All right, so we have 3 databases back here. This is the database we're working on, and see how this database matches the config file. So we absolutely know that that is the correct database. So once again, very, very simple in those cases. Very straightforward, easy to install WordPress, and you just repeat the same process for everything over and over. And then last but not least, let's go ahead and uninstall this guy. Because I do not want anyone hacking into an old WordPress. So I'm just going to click uninstall. Easy day. Then we're going to go to the cPanel here, which we could have done from there, but I just have multiple windows. We're going to go to File Manager. And public_HTML. DJ.creative. Voila. She's completely empty. Easy day, no problems at all. So last but not least, just let's clean up. Let's go to add-on domains, and let's remove this directory here. There we go. All right, so easy day. All right, so now no one can access my server because the domain no longer exists and the folder is now gone. Now, like I said, I will eventually build a website there, just not right now. I have other things going on. So that is our whole process of getting into the cPanel, creating an FTP, and uploading a file. And then in this one, we went over installing a WordPress, connecting the DNS up for it. And you would still do that exact same thing if you're just uploading another file and connecting DNS and everything up to it as well. So, and then removing everything. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Any open sites can be hacked. That is a huge problem. So you do need to be careful and keep your cPanel clean. But I will let you guys go at this point. The next video in the series is going to be just the analysis of the cPanel itself. So we'll go over when you need an upgrade type deal in resource management. So I will see you in that video.